right. Good morning, everyone. Going to start off here today. I'm just reading the disclaimer as usual. So, in response to COVID-19, PSP offering virtual fitness to Canadian Armed Forces members by using social media platforms. The virtual fitness classes tailored to Canadian Armed Forces personnel become accessible to all. Participants who are not Canadian Armed Force members recognize and acknowledge that their age, health status, and physical fitness level are unknown, and it is entirely up to each individual to assess their ability to participate in this class. Since it is preferable to consult your physician before beginning any exercise program, we invite all participants who are not Canadian Armed Force members to consult the Get Active questionnaire of the Canadian Society of Exercise Physiology and its reference document. If you experience any pain or difficulty during the exercises presented in this video, it is recommended that you stop and consult a healthcare provider. If a CAF member sustains an injury during this video, please remember to fill out a CF98, Get Active questionnaire, and Get Active reference document there in the link. Alright, so we'll just getting started here in a moment. Alright, good morning everyone. My name is Geoff. I'm an FSI at 12 Wing Shearwater. Today's class is going to be yoga and range of motion. Today's focus is actually going to be kind of a combination of a flow and some static stretching or deep release yin poses. So we'll start off by warming up. We will then go through a bit of a flow and some sun salutations. And then we will finish with a few poses that's going to target a little bit more range of motion and a deeper release for our tissues. The equipment you may need today would be a mat or at least a soft surface to do the practice on. And you may choose to have other props such as a yoga block, a pillow, a blanket, or any other type of support that you may need through some of these poses. I will offer some modifications for these, but most of them are going to be pretty basic. So let's have some fun with it. To start off, we're going to come into child's pose. So coming to the center of your mat, we're going to have our knees together. We're going to just walk our hands forward and then bring our head down towards the floor. From here, I just want you to start to connect to the breath. So with a few deep inhales through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And one more deep breath. And we're just going to slowly make our way up. Coming on all fours now. we're going to move through cat-cow. So starting by rounding the back, tucking that chin in, pushing through the palms as well, and then letting the belly drop now, bringing the head up, and extending the spine. I'm just going to move through this for a minute or two, and you're just going to go at your own pace. You just try to move through that full range of motion the best you can. We're all a little bit different. You can also use the breath with this as well. So inhale, exhaling. Just warming up the back a little bit here. Let's do a couple more here. And last one. Good. Now we're just going to warm up the wrists a little bit, okay? As we will be using them a lot throughout the practice today. So coming to all fours, or hands and knees, just going to start to lift the palms up off the floor and back down. Let's go with 10 reps here. You can start to press your fingers down, actively bringing those wrists up, pushing down with the fingers. You can kind of lean a little bit forward too, if you have some good wrist mobility. You can stretch out the forearms a little bit as well with that. And also getting the shoulders ready too. Good. Now what we're going to do is go into what we call bird dog. So we're going to take our left arm, we're going to stick it out straight in front, okay, almost like having your bicep right beside your ear, and then sticking that right leg out and holding for 2, 1, back down. Then we're going to switch to the opposite side, right arm straight out, left leg straight out. 1, 2, good. Same as we went with the cat-cow, we're just going to kind of move through this at our own pace. We're not holding for any length of time here. Just a couple second hold at the top. It's going to challenge you a little bit through the core for your balance. So make sure that you're bracing through your core. Okay, keep that midsection engaged. Also, we don't want to overextend and lift the arm and leg way up. We're thinking about lengthening. Okay, so we want to be nice and long here. This is a really good way to warm up the core, warm up the back. Getting the glutes engaged, even getting the shoulders warm as well. It's a very dynamic warm-up, can be used not just for yoga, but any type of strength training as well. Got a couple more reps here. Shouldn't be too challenging yet, just warming up. Alright. Just coming back, sitting on our heels for a moment. Just giving our arms a little bit of a break. You can kind of rotate the wrists, get the fingers moving. Next, we're just going to push up into downward facing dog. So we'll bring our hands back down to the floor. We want to see our index fingers pointing forward and having our palms flat on the floor. From here, we're going to push through the palms. Bring those hips up. Adjust the feet as needed. And just start to let those heels drop. Continuing to press through the palms. And now going to our breath. We're always using our breath as our ally, right? Especially when things get a little bit challenging, we're going to turn to that breath. That helps us move through it. It helps us stay relaxed. Now we're just going to start to drop one heel at a time. So starting with the left, I'm going to drop that heel all the way down. 1, 2, and then change sides. 1, 2. We'll continue that for a few reps. Just moving back and forth, dropping each heel down. Getting a bit of a stretch through the calf and the hamstring. Really just kind of warming up, starting to feel the shoulders burn a little bit. That's okay. One more deep breath. And let's come back down to hands and knees. All right. We'll just take a moment to transition here. Starting to get warm. Best part about the morning classes is the coffee I get to drink. So now we're going to go through some sun salutations. I'll ask you guys to just come up to a standing position. Okay. We're going to come starting at the front of our mat. I'm just going to bring our hands to heart. So hands are together. Nice big inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. Now, as we inhale, we're going to reach up. So, inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway to a flat back. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step or jump the feet back to a high plank position. Chaturanga, lowering the body down to the floor. Hands are on the outsides of the shoulders or just under the shoulders. We're just going to use our back to lift. Right, so using those back muscles to lift. I'm not pushing with my hands. And then now I'll take my hands and press to my knees and then lift the hips into downward facing dog. Couple breaths here. Now, from here, we're going to either step or jump the feet up towards our hands. If we do need to come down to the knees first, that's okay. And then we're coming to a standing position. So that's our sun salutation. We're going to continue to move through that for 4 or 5 more reps. Okay? So hands to heart. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to flat back. fold, and hands come down to high plank, stepping back. Chaturanga, lowering the body, using the back now to lift. Just a little support from the fingers or the hands. Coming down and pressing into downward dog. If you find this challenging to hold, you can simply just come out of it a little bit sooner and then come right back when you're ready. And now stepping or jumping the feet up to the center of the mat and hands to heart. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high plank. Lowering down for chaturanga. Now, hands are underneath the shoulders. If we can, or if you're comfortable with it, I'm going to press all the way to upward facing dog. If this is challenging, we'll stay down to the half lift here. And then again, curling those toes under and pressing up into downward dog. Stepping or jumping the feet up. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, stepping back to high plank. Chaturanga, lowering down, pressing into half lift or upward dog. Curling the toes under, bringing into downward dog. And again, stepping or jumping the feet up and hands to heart. I'm going to do 2 more sun salutations. We're going to move a little bit faster now. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, high plank, and chaturanga. Upward dog, and then right into downward facing dog. Step or jump the feet back up. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Chaturanga, lowering down. Upward dog. Curling the toes under into downward facing dog. Here for a few breaths now. This is our last time. Starting to feel some length through that backside, through the hamstrings. And now, just lowering the knees back down to the mat. And sitting back onto the heels. Nice work there, guys. Those are our sun salutations. That's our flow for the day. Not a ton of time spent there. Just enough to kind of get the body nice and warm. A little bit of sweat going. I know I'm sweating. Especially with this great weather. It's already like 14 or 15 degrees out in the morning, so be prepared for another hot one today. Alright, so now we're going to go into our yin poses, okay, where we're going to be holding these poses for a period of time. Okay, it's not going to be anything substantial, probably about 2 to 3 minutes max. And with that said, we want to be gentle with how we are going with these poses, okay? So if there's any discomfort or any pain at all during any of these poses, please just come out, okay? And take your time. I'll try to give a couple modifications here. And we don't want to push ourselves or make it hurt, okay? We want to have some sensation in terms of a stretch, but we don't want pain, okay? That's what we're trying to avoid here. So with our first pose, we're going to go into pigeon pose. I'm just going to turn my mat slightly so I can demo that a little bit better. So if you've done classes with me, you've definitely done this pose before. So we're bringing the right leg up. Okay, let's start by sitting in kind of a 90-degree angle with the right leg and the left leg. Okay, this is going to be actually our modification for pigeon. So having that front leg at a 90, you can grab onto the foot or just have the hand out in front. And I just want you to let your body lean over that right leg. Okay, make an adjustment. You might come in a little bit inside. You might be straight over the knee a little bit. Whatever works for you, as long as you're feeling a stretch. Okay, we want to feel that target area through the glutes and the hips. Okay, you might feel it a little bit on the inner thigh as well. So this is our modification for pigeon. If we're good here, we can stay here. If not, we can move into full pigeon, which lifts that right hip up. Still aiming for the same target area here. It's going to be that outside glutes and hips. And then now we want to go back to our breath. It's really important to use the breath through these poses, as it facilitates a sense of relaxation or sense of calmness within the mind and the body. The more relaxed we are, the more calm we are in these, the deeper we can find ourselves into the poses and therefore increase our range of motion. Now, if you're on your elbows here and it gets really intense, you can always just straighten those arms out, take a little bit of the weight off of that pose, or you can go the complete opposite and take the elbows away and bring your head all the way to the floor. That one's a little bit intense for me, so I'm going to stay on the elbows. We'll be here for about another 30 seconds. Really starting to feel that stretch. You can tell when it's getting a little bit deeper into those tissues. You might be feeling a little bit of a tingling or numbness kind of sensation, and that's okay as long as you are not losing feeling completely. That wouldn't be good. Alright, so now we're going to slowly, if you're in full pigeon, we'll just come sit on the hip, lower that hip down, and move nice and easy over to the other side. So same variation or modification for this side, okay? It would be that 90-degree angle stretch, leaning over, okay? That's your modification. If you're on full pigeon, we're going to start right now. We'll be here for a couple minutes. So if my pose looks a little bit different than yours does, that's okay. That's completely normal. And we all have a different shape of our anatomy, and some of us are a little bit more flexible, or maybe a little bit tighter. But the key here is to feel that target area through that glute and hip. So we're breathing, deep breaths, really trying to just sink in and relax. The sense of calmness we want to feel is similar to the feeling that before we go to sleep. So super relaxed, super calm. Not moving, just staying still. Just really letting gravity kind of do the work here. Alright, time is up for this side. Again, nice and easy coming out of these poses. No rush whatsoever. So we're going to stay targeting the lower body. So we're going into next pose. This one is called Lizard. It's similar to Pigeon. This time we're going to put our foot fully on the mat here, so I'm in kind of a deep lunge position. Okay, this time we're targeting the back leg, okay, so the leg that's extended. We're looking to target the front side hip flexor there, okay? From here, we're going to put our hands onto the inside of that front leg, okay? It should be on the right side. And we'll also get a bit of a stretch through the inner thigh on that side, okay? From here, if this is a good enough stretch for you, onto your hands, that's great. If you're a little bit more mobile and you want to bring the elbows all the way down, great. I would encourage you to do so if that is something that you can achieve. I'm going to start with my arms straight and then see if I can get down to my elbows by the end of this pose. So a couple minutes here, same idea, just going to relax, go back to that breath, nice and calm. If you ever find this is bugging you on your knees at all, feel free to use a pillow or another soft surface, folding up a towel. You can even fold your mat over a little bit. If you're not used to this position, it might just be a little bit annoying on the knees, but alright. Again, nice and easy and gently coming out of there and just switching to the other side. That left leg forward, hands on the inside of that front leg. We're diving right into it. If you find you got a little bit more room or a little bit more open on this side, bring the elbows down to the floor. I usually find that one side's a little bit more open than the other. It's not necessarily the best, but we're trying to balance those out. So staying with that breath, see if you can get a little deeper on your exhale. So inhaling and then exhaling, just letting gravity kind of pull you down. We're almost there, but 30 seconds left here, guys. Some of these poses can be kind of a mental challenge as well, just staying in one spot for that long. So this isn't just for range of motion, it's not just to open up the body, it's also good training for our mind. being able to stay still, stay in one spot, and not necessarily the most comfortable spot either. That's kind of why it's a tough mental challenge. These poses can be a little bit uncomfortable at times. So gently just coming up out of that one. We're going to move to a seated position now. So bringing the legs straight out in front. Just taking a moment to transition to the next pose here. So our next pose is basic forward fold. Okay, so feet are together or close to each other, and then from here we'll take a big inhale and then exhale, reaching forward towards our toes. Find in the morning this is a really good stretch to do. Feel a little bit tighter normally right in the morning. Oh, this is a great one to start off our day with. So targeting the low back and hamstrings here. Normally we would refrain from rounding the back, but with this one we're going to allow that, okay? So if we can, you can grab your toes. If not, just grab onto your shins or underneath your calves. Bring your chin into your chest. And again, just allowing gravity to do most of the work, facilitating calmness by using our breath. Okay? Another great way to facilitate that relaxation or calmness is to count the breath. So I'm going to actually count out loud here for you guys. So sorry if I messed up your breathing pattern there, but let's start with an inhale of 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Going to add a second now. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now just breathing on your own. You can continue to count the breaths. I would encourage that. Alright, time is up. Slowly start to bring our head back up. And then just kind of going to bring our hands to the sides, open that chest up a little bit, just to counter out that stretch a little bit. All right. I'm going to do one more pose here, guys. So again, sticking with the lower body. Just going to be a shorter pose now. So going to come to the center of my mat here. So feel free to pad up the knees a little bit on this. So what I normally do for this one is just fold over this side of my mat and this side as well. Okay. So what we're going to do is go into frog pose, where I'm going to bring my knees wider, or as wide as they can, until I feel a bit of a stretch. Keeping the feet, or that inside ankle should be on the floor, okay? And then from here, arms can be straight, or I can come down to my elbows. And then from here, to add a little bit more of a stretch, we're going to push the hips back. Again, don't go too far here. Let's just kind of find a good stretch, hang out there, use our breath, and then we'll find a little bit more range. Just going to be here for about 1 minute to finish up, guys. Target area here is the inner thigh, groin area. Alright, time is up. So the way to get out of this one, just kind of walk the arms forward a little bit until you laying flat down. Find that's the safest way to get out of it. Alright, so that does it for today's yoga range of motion working for today. Thank you for tuning in. Reminder as well, if you are looking for a workout, Maddie will be doing one at noon today from the gym. So check that out if you're looking for a workout. Thanks again for coming out, and we'll see you guys next time.